How you doing, brothers and sisters? Found some pretty interesting information. The Lord showed me some pretty wild stuff. Excuse my voice, a little under the weather. But what he first led me to again, and is with the meanings again. Back to the meanings and definitions. And another good site to go is to etymoline.com. It gives like the etymology. I believe it's ETYMOLINE. I believe that's the spelling. And you want to start looking at um, the oldest meanings of the words. And again, I believe this is why they use Latin. In the movies, I think Latin is a more precise language. But again, all languages in this world, have that duality. Uh, but what I found was uh, pertaining to basically identifying the false prophet. I believe it's the Pope, all the popes, that whole office, and it just depends whether this Pope is the final the false prophet. But I looked up the word Vatican, the word Vatican itself, and on the etymology, it's points to the word vates. It comes from VATES, and that definition says a soothsayer, a prophet, a seer, to inspire, and then it has Old English VOD vod, frenzied, related to the god name Woden. I guess that's Thor's father, Woden. Uh, Hence, Vaticanation, oracular prediction. The oracle, like the oracle of Delphi with Apollo. Uh, and it led to the word wood. And again, wormwood, when I looked that up before, worm is one of the definitions is dragon. Wood is insane, possessed. So wormwood is dragon possession, serpent possession. What else? Vatic, a prophet. Vaticanate, to prophecy, foretell. I mean, it's telling us it's the false prophet right there. I mean, to them, they're not a false prophet. They are foretelling their Messiah coming, the Antichrist. And what else was there? Okay. And then also, I just found this yesterday. It was really wild. I always go on about the man and the word human. Well, hue, I always say means color, like color of law, color of money. That's what we're using today. We're not using money. We're using the color of money. It's like money. We believe it's money. We use it as money. So, for all purposes, it's money. But really, it's the color of money. And again, law, common law is law, or contract law. But we use the color of law. You could go into the legal persons or, all that if you look up the word person. But the word, so I was thinking about the word Roman. A Roman. Well, what's a Roman? So I typed in ROE, figuring they usually shorten it to make it fit. And ROE means fish eggs, frog spawn. Fish eggs, streaked, spotted, striped in various colors. So fish eggs, like the Dagon fish god, Roman, the fish man. Is that what they're saying? I mean, that's who the fish miter, the Dagon fish miter, that's what they're wearing, the Pope. Frog spawn. The Bible tells us I saw three spirits like frogs coming out of the beast, the dragon, and the false prophet. And again, remember, there's three characters. Everyone gets hold up. There's more than three, obviously. There's all the kings, but the three main ones. There's three main ones. And again, it's going to be the good cop, bad cop scenario that they always use, the left-right paradigm. It's the very fabric of this world. And what I was pointing to before was the letters and their numbers, like A is 1, B is 2, C is 3, all the way up. Even when they go to the commercial law, it's UCC, Uniform Commercial Code. Well, U is 21, 2 plus 1 is 3. That's how you reduce it. So UCC is 333. And that goes back to merchant law and, basically that merchant law, commerce law, is, the devil's law, the color of law, not man's law. All that can be manipulated to be yes, no, just how good you are speaking out of your forked tongue. What else? Oh, the word oxygen. We all need oxygen to live, but oxygen is the very thing that, breaks us down, that decays us. But it's funny, O, X. O is 15, 1 plus 5 is 6. X is 24, 2 plus 4 is 6. So you got the two letters, 6, 6. Y, 25 is 7. G is 7. You got 7, 7. So you got 6, 6, 7, 7. And then, what is it? EN. Well, E is the fifth letter, 5. N is the 14th. 1 plus 4 is 5. So you literally have 6, 6, 7, 7, 5, 5. It's showing the duality in order. That we need oxygen to live, but yet oxygen is the thing that's going to destroy us and kill us. And like I said, there's so many words that show that. It's beyond, like Fox, F-O-X, that's 666. Or you play tic-tac-toe. Remember that whoever gets 3 X's or 3 O's in a row, so whoever gets 666 wins. You got to get 666 in a row to win the game. Well, that game's telling you right there, the tic-tac-toe, unless you make a mistake, the game ends up in a tie. It's a duality. The winning move, like in, what was that old movie, War Games, the only correct move is to not play, to not go to the wide or broad path, the straight and narrow, to not play their game, not to be caught up in the left-right paradigm. But hue, that's right, hue man, I also went back to my old notes, and it also means, and you have to go back to your notes, like if you take notes and you do all this stuff, you have to go back, because as you gain more understanding, those meanings and notes will mean more to you. Hue also means modify or change. So hue man also means the modified man. So the hue man is the changed man, the modified man. And that's what they want to use man as. They talk about evolution. Really, we're de-evolving from Adam. But, evolution, change over time. So yeah, we are evolving, we're changing, we're degenerating. And they want to mix us with who knows what, change our DNA, add AI to it, angelic intelligence, AI, because that's what intelligence meant. Remember, it had to do with angels and spirits when you look up that definition. And something else I found was pretty wild. Again, in Vatican, canon laws. What else? And when I had talked before about Eve in the garden, believing that there was some kind of mixture with the word tree means a figure that branches from a single genealogical root. So the Garden of Eden, God's garden, I guess, was all his various creations, the ones directly from him. And they were allowed to eat freely of any of the trees except for the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And they ate the fruit of. And, someone had made a comment about, it says, when she says, I've gotten a man from the Lord. Well, Baal, B-A-A-L, literally Lord, master, owner. And Cain, the word Cain literally means acquired. And that has to do, when you look up acquired, starts meaning, it's more like a virus or an illness. So I thought it was strange, that's what they would name their child. And it's called a man. So I've gotten a man from the Lord. So, like I said, and even when she tells God that I have been beguiled, when you look up beguiled, one of the definitions says raped. So, like I said, there's a lot of information pointing that way, especially when it, Genesis 3:15, I would put enmity between the serpent seed and the seed of the woman. There's obviously two seeds in this world. Who do you think the Illuminati, who do you think these people are? A lot of people are just manipulated because of sin, but the children of the fallen angels and their children in that lineage, that's the whole purpose of the flood, but it does say, and after that. So somehow, and I believe, personally, I believe that they were able to make it through the flood is because of the angels mixing with sea creatures, or amphibians, and back to the Dagon fish god. That's how they survived the flood. And then, through Ham's discretion, his indiscretion was, seeing his father's nakedness, and the Bible defines that as basically had a sexual act with his father's wife, with his, I believe it's his mother, but the Bible doesn't state that specifically. It could have been another wife, but I guess it's his mother. So some kind of incestuous relationship or something happened, and that sin, of either way, that sin of adultery, could have been something with the genes too. Two recessive genes, when they got together, could have brought forth, because that did bring forth the line of Canaan. What else? Real quick, the word Cairo means a place of combat, referred to the gods Seth and Horus. And I thought it was funny that New Madrid fault line that people had talked about a few years ago, it begins in Illinois, in Cairo, Illinois. So I didn't know if people might want to look into that, but I thought that was interesting. And where Obama's from, in Chicago and Illinois, where he, was his community organizer and all that. What else? There was something else I wanted to go over. And back to a little bit about CERN. I think I have more work to do on this, but when the Bible always talks about the beasts of the field. Well, what field? I mean, I'm sure it's giving the surface meaning of beasts in a field, but even when Jesus was being crucified, he saw the bulls of Bashan, and the word bull, I mean, is literally a bull, but also it's funny that I believe it's male crocodiles are called bulls. So what were the bulls of Bashan that he saw? Well, Jesus didn't see like us. He saw everything. He could see all the fields. And that's what I think they're, with CERN, they're looking for the Higgs field. They're trying to, I guess open up that field, or interact with that field. And the Higgs field, it says the Higgs field gives particles mass, the gateway from spirit to flesh. If the Higgs field did not exist, particles would not have the mass required to attract one another and would float around freely at light speed. And the word bose, like Higgs and Bose, means to seek for hollows underground by ramming the ground and observing the vibrations. Scottish word boss, hollow, empty, earlier now meaning small chasm. Well, I thought that was interesting. So I think the beasts of the field may be like the magnetic field, all the frequencies and fields around us that these entities reside in that we can't normally see. Or how people see the shadow people, we're catching glimpses, I guess, as the veil is opening, or being drawn away. And here in Revelation, or Apocalypse, which means the revealing, the curtain is being lifted or opened up, so we can begin to start seeing these other fields, just as the angel with the key to the bottomless pit. Again, the key, the frequency, the pitchfork, the tuning fork. What else did I find? Oh, here's another one. Cain created one, and then it has Smith. Well, I thought that was interesting, because in the in the Matrix movies, Neo Anderson, which means new, son of man. Neo is new, Anderson, son of man, is battling against Agent Smith. So he's battling against Cain. And Agent Smith, he came in from the Matrix, which means Matrix means womb, into this world. So as they're trying to do, they're trying to come through into this physical world. They're breaking through to the other side, like the Door song. That's what they're trying to do. Also, I was looking into a little more about Prince William. Also, some more information on that. He turns 33 on Father's Day this year. The summer solstice, Monday, June 21st. Which is 3 months later, will be September 21st, 22nd. So he'll be 33 years and 3 months. It's the International Day of Peace, and again, the word peace doesn't just mean our normal meaning; it also means death. 6 months later from his birthday is December 22nd, 21st, the winter solstice, and this is just speculation. I kind of wondered, if William had died or something happened to him on the winter solstice, and something happened, and 3 days later, like our Lord Jesus Christ, since I believe he is in the clone body, if he resurrects 3 days later, it will be on December 25th. So he'll have two birthdays. He'll have the summer solstice and the winter solstice. He'll be the sun god and the moon god. But it's just something, like I said, I'm speculating on that. Just something interesting I thought, and just kept coming into my mind. And also, the Antichrist body will also be picking up at the exact age of Jesus' body, after his death. I think that's what they're trying to do: imitate and then take over from there. Their Christ will be accepted, and as they rejected our Christ, our Lord Jesus Christ. And I found this a long time ago. I can't verify this, but it was just weird. I found a video a long time ago, and it disappeared. The whoever made it, their thing was shut down quickly, and I could never find any more. I tried to search it. I tried to figure it out. They were claiming, and they had evidence to back it up. But like I said, it was so long ago. I just remember it and recorded it down, and was trying to look into it, but couldn't find anything. They said our calendar was 16 years off, and this was maybe 4 or 5 years ago I saw this. But I thought that was interesting, because everything happening in the end of 2015 and 16, and also it would be a clever thing to throw our calendar off like that, because a lot of people expected something to happen in the year 2000. This would mean that the year 2000 is really 2016. But as I was thinking about that, it was funny. I thought about Prince William's birthday again, and he was born in the year 82. Well, if you subtract 16 from that, it's 66. So he would literally be born in the 6th month, 21st day, and year 66. So you would have the 666 there. Like I said, I can't verify that. I don't know. Someone else had done the work on it, and like I said, I can't verify it. I can't find much on it. So if anyone else can, I'd appreciate throwing me some information on that if you can find anything. But everything does point to the 2,000 years. Basically, this is where the 6 years, the 6,000th year, when it's like the 6th day of creation. You know what I mean? We're heading towards that day of rest, which is 1,000 years to us is a day to the Lord. Well, that would be the 7th day, the day of rest. Also, in Jesus resurrecting, he resurrected on the 3rd day. Well, 2,000 years after on the 3rd day, he was resurrected. He came back. So it does fit. Everything is pointing to this time. And I thought it was funny that the Pope is coming in September, I guess, to Philadelphia and to address the Congress. And Philadelphia, I thought, was interesting, since the Church of Philadelphia, and also Philadelphia really is still the capital of our country. Washington D.C. is the corporate headquarters of the corporation called United States, but the country, with all its offices vacant right now, the capital is still in Philadelphia. Washington D.C. is like Vatican City. It is like the city of London. It's a corporate headquarters. It's its own entity, and he'll be addressing a Congress, basically dealing with a house divided, just as as about the time when they're talking about making Palestine its own nation. So just as you're literally dividing the land of Israel, and America, he's coming to America about a house divided. So I thought that was interesting. More with the letters too. God, G-O-D, G is 7, O is 15, D is 4, it's 26. That's how many letters in the alphabet. God is the alphabet, the Alpha and the Omega. He's the A to the Z, he's everything. And like I said, I don't want people to delve too much into that. I just think it's interesting that it just, again, shows the fabric of this reality is all according to God's plan. We're acting out what's already written, no matter what happens, what God says is going to come true. And then that French minister talking about the climate chaos falling in September, and I was looking up those words. Chaos, gape, it means the abyss, a gaping void, utter confusion. And it was talking about, when I was looking up at the etymology of the word, the void at the beginning of creation. And it says Nyx, N-Y-X, with night, and Erebus. It's what is the place of darkness between earth and Hades and hell. And the abyss, the Nyx and Erebus, they oppose the ordered universe. So they want the order out of chaos, which again, order is one of the 9 sects or choirs of angels, and chaos is the abyss. So that's who they want, and especially the Freemasons, when they have that on their books, order out of chaos. That's what they're talking about. They're letting you know at the higher levels who they worship. They're worshiping the order of angels out of the abyss of hell. Climate meant slope of the earth, equator to pole, horizontal zone of the earth, to lean, bend, left, favor, put pressure on, shift of influence of one of the 7 planets, atmosphere, public opinion, spirit, tone, mood, trend, feeling. So I guess their climate chaos is the abyss affecting all those things. I guess opening the pit, that's what it sounds like to me, and everything just seems like it's coming together. And it's just amazing, like that people can't see this. Every now and then you get someone insulting you, calling, saying that I'm an idiot because they can't see any of this. They can't see the common sense stuff, the common things that have nothing to do with God, or not even nothing to do with God, but nothing to do directly with this. They can't see the Federal Reserve. They can't see, the fraud and everything. They can't see any of this stuff happening. They can't see that it's all manipulated. What else? And back to, and I guess just back to, let me see, I had a list of things that I wanted to cover. I said, excuse me again, I'm a little under the weather, but I'm trying here. I guess that's it. The only other thing I had was thinking about that what they do in the courts is to get you to come out of your dimension, your third dimension, into their 2D world of paper, to bring you down in status from a man to that of a person, the legal fiction, the legal name, into their world, into their court. And their court is just the paper, it's not the building. It's our courthouse. It can be your court. You can bring your court and meet at their building. You don't want to be in their court. You don't want to come in as the defendant. You don't want to come in as a taxpayer. It's all titles. They're trying to give you a title, and if someone gives you a title, they can revoke that title. Just like if we're so used to, if you buy a house, that you go through their paperwork and they're granting you the title. But you could easily just write on a piece of paper that John Smith sold me, I now own John Smith's house at blah, 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 and both you assign it and record it at the county recorders. That's like a common law title, and that will trump their legalese titles. But they've got us so used to growing up in this system and being lazy and just to do their paperwork and to do everything to make it easier for us. And again, not everyone knows this. The same thing with people in the courthouse. Most of them probably don't know it, just what they've been taught to do. So they think that's the only way. But we're being deceived. At any time you can go back to being a man. You can claim your rights and property. Again, people don't understand what property means. Property is not just this pen. It's I have I can write my ideas, my beliefs, and that's my property, whether they're written down or not. My rights are my property, and I definitely highly recommend people look into Carl Lentz, Karl-Lentz. I always recommend him because, again, he found out how to successfully operate in common law again, and it is a belief system. It's not like this cookie cutter cut and paste, copy and paste, where just tell me what to fill in. We've done enough of that. That's what got us in trouble. Just telling us what to fill in. We have to think, and the more you give yourself to God, the more you do become a man or a woman again, instead of these legal persons. Because if you're not with God, you are by default the property of the devil. You've already signed contracts with him, whether you know it or not. He already has legal, not lawful, legal rights to you. But God gave you the choice, so you don't have to go with God. And the same thing I hear, with people with, oh, if I don't do what God tells me, he'll send me to hell. No, you're choosing hell. God's the creator, and he set up laws. We all broke the laws. We didn't have to, we did. So, he's fair and just. But because he loves us, he's infinite love. He came into this world, into this 3D world, and, basically became sin for us. He was hung on a cross. A hanged man is a cursed man. He took on the curse for us. And again, people can debate things, but these word meanings, I'm telling you, look up the words. The more you look up words, you start understanding. You just start understanding things better. And that's everything they do is the word game. Again, like the belly of the beast. Satan was cursed to crawl on his belly. Belly literally means corporation. Trafficking, when it talks about his trafficking, that's commerce, that's merchant law. The UCC again, the 333. A review of all those words. Did tree, angel. Again, angel is a financial backer of a political campaign or a dramatic production. How are we deceived today? Through politics, TV, movies. It all fits. Just start looking up words, and especially in the Bible. God has infinite intelligence. He knows everything. So when he's writing, he's giving us messages in there that have more than one meaning. It has the surface meaning, so everyone can have an understanding of what he's writing. But for those who want to look deeper, just start looking up the words. One of my favorite ones was that shout. When he comes in the clouds and comes with a shout, and it also means one's turn to buy around. And he said he would not drink of the new wine until we were with him. We're going to have that round with him. You can look up the word number. The number of the beast, the mark of the beast. Mark means to sign. Boundary lines. Mark has so many meanings. If you just look up the word and read all the meanings, so that's what we've been taught, that just the first listed meaning is the meaning of the word. No, they're all equal meanings of the word. The word has all those different meanings. But in law, it's kind of the opposite of that. In law, words have precise meanings. You have to, get to the exact precise meaning, because if not, it's always interpreted against you. They're working against you. Even though the judge, who isn't really a judge, he's a magistrate, and he's basically the referee or a witness. The judge in common law is the jury. We're in God's image, so we can only be judged by others who are also in God's image, other men. and women sitting up there, not by a black robed one, uh, not one of their priests. Also thought it was funny. I was looking up. Oh, that's right. I found the word bishop, and it said overseer, watcher, guardian, high priest, Jewish or pagan. Title used to be title for various government offices. So I thought that was funny. A bishop is for a pagan or a Jewish, or a high priest in Jewish or paganism. What else? And real quick, I looked up Nimrod, broke those words down. Nim means to take or steal, and rod, club, clear the land, a pole for fishing. I thought that was funny. Another fish reference, fishing. Scion, offshoot of Scion tribe, punishment. Measuring stick, light sensitive cell and retina. And also says penis or gun and revolver. So, like I said, I mean, you start looking these words up and break them in half, and go to the etymology.com and look up the origin of these things, and really show some amazing stuff. But the thing, like I said, the thing that blew me away yesterday was the Vatican thing and the row. Vatican Bates, a soothsayer, a prophet, a seer. I mean, if that's not telling you that the Vatican is the seat of the false prophet, and then Roman, the row is fish eggs, frog spawn. I mean, the fishmen, the frogmen, the reptilians, I guess, the serpent people. Whether it's physical or not, or just spiritual, I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe something is being distorted with our vision, and we just can't see whatever. Maybe it is like they live with Roddy Piper. Maybe these things are around us, and they're using some kind of cross between magical and technology, I guess. And well, I guess any technology not understood would be thought to be magic, but whatever technology, and that does break down. I mean, some of those videos, especially that reporter with his tongue that came out, and he's talking about it was the black reporter who was talking about swallowing a bug, but you see that forked tongue coming out of his mouth is wild if you ever see that video. But I guess that's it for now. God bless you all, and have a great day. And like I said, I'm just trying to help people, just as so many people helped me. Your comments or information you have, please post it. I'm not a prophet. I'm just a man that for whatever reason God woke up. I certainly didn't deserve it. I knew none of this before 5 years ago, and I always laugh with my wife. I said I feel like Richard Dreyfuss from Close Encounters of the Third Kind. I said just one day it hit me, and I've been researching constantly ever since. I mean, literally, I am born again. I have a different spirit inside me, and it's amazing. I mean, it really is amazing what's happening. And for those people that doubt, like I said, I wasn't brought up with any of this. I was more brought up into like New Age stuff and that kind of thinking. And not that I subscribed to all of it, but a lot of it made sense. And but I didn't think you could actually know if God was real or not until you died. I didn't think it could be proven. And once you ask God for the truth and you make that prayer, and if you're sincere and you want the truth, He will show it to you. I mean, He will show you. You just got to buckle up for that ride, because you start finding things, and then I was so naive that I started telling people and had people over to show them what I found, thinking like, wow, I just discovered everything. Like these people are going to see it so easy, and they looked at me like I was out of my mind. And I'm like, and that was only like the Federal Reserve stuff, the Vietnam War, the Gulf of Tonkin incident. I mean, all these things that are like admitted. Especially with the Federal Reserve and the money and how all that works, the fractional reserve banking, and all these quotes, and these people just admit this stuff, and they laugh because people don't get it. They just won't. They won't. It's going against their belief system. They believe in this false reality that's been put there, and I guess because of the decorations and the costume and everyone, they wear their badges and they have their, their nice suits, and they tell you this is so, and then the TV tells you it's so, and the programming on the TV just tells you that it literally programs you. And so, I mean, that's how naive I was. I thought everyone was going to see this. And then that was a rude awakening. But I asked for the truth, and I don't regret it one day that I asked for the truth. I mean, It's amazing how many scientists are out there that became Christians, became believers based on scientific evidence. And then you always have these knuckleheads talking about, wow, peer-reviewed papers. Well, there are peer-reviewed, but who's your peer? If it's the money's controlling everything, and these people at the top are Satanists, and it's the Carnegie Endowment and the Rockefeller funds and trusts and the Gates Foundation, all these people are eugenicists, they're Satanists. So do you think those editors are going to allow certain things in their papers or not? I mean, you don't think it's controlled? It's like we've been a communist country for over 100 years. All 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto have been installed, adopted in this country in the last 100 years. That's a fact. We didn't have an IRS. We didn't pay taxes, federal taxes before. That's not like it's been. People think it's been here since the inception of the country. No, it hasn't. It's just done slowly, slowly, slowly. And then everyone, the parents teach, well, this is how we do it. You need a driver's license. You need this. You need permission to fish. You need to ask, God, their God, the state, the government to do everything. But really, again, who created government? It's not even real. It's a word. It's a word. We created it to benefit man, not to harm us, not to tell us what to do. I mean, if you hire people, they're your employees, like public employees, public servants. Do you have a business and have your employees tell you what to do? I mean, that's crazy. But everyone thinks that's normal because that's the way it goes on. And everyone, don't rock the boat, just go with it. Well, it's not just staying in one spot. If it was just staying in one spot, people could deal with it. But it's not. It's a predatory system, and it's constantly meant to progress until it destroys. I mean, this whole fractional reserve system was set up to destroy a country. People look at the price. Oh, gas went up, bread went up. No, it didn't. The value of the dollar keeps going down. Everything is backwards from what you think it is. And like I said, people can't see that basic stuff. So how can they jump to believing there's a God and faith and the Bible is actually God's word? I mean, it's just amazing. So there are spirits in this world, and that's the beauty of Satan's plan, I guess. The evilness and beauty at the same time, an evil genius, is that to convince people none of that stuff exists because, how can you fight something that doesn't exist? So, but instead of these people going with logic and saying, okay, I don't necessarily believe this, but why do millions upon millions, billions of people believe in God? Of course, many of them are just brought up that way and told that, and tradition like anything else. But why are there so many born-again people that didn't believe, and then all of a sudden something happened in their life and now they totally believe? Like I said, even with me, I didn't think it was possible to know, but I didn't realize all the evidence, and it's not even the evidence, it's the interpretation of the evidence. Like people think there's evidence for evolution, and again, it's the word game, the definition game. What does evolution mean? You have to establish what a word means before you go from there. Does it mean that it rained on rocks and the rocks turned to people eventually? Or does it just mean that there's a lot of information in the DNA and the offspring will have changes? It's two separate things, but they lump it in so they can say it's true. It's just crazy. But I'm losing my voice and I've rambled enough, so God bless everyone and have a good day.